Hey everyone, welcome to their top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 favorite movie friendships. Yes, nothing more delightful than a romance in a movie, but you know what's better? Friendships. Bros before hoes, sisters before misters. We got the movie friendships, and I got someone to collab with me on this top 10 list. I've never collabed with this guy before in my life. I don't even know who the fuck he is. I don't know why he's even here, but introduce yourself, stranger. Who are you again?
Hey, what's going on, man? My name is Jeremy. Nice to meet you. What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again with JayVaters. This is like our 1 millionth collaboration. But anyway, yeah, party up. Anyway, Jay, thank you for having me as always, man. This is a perfect list for you to give to me because this is friendships. We are friends indeed. I would put you on the list. That's totally biased. But anyway, I'm super excited to reveal to you guys my top 10 favorite friendships in movies. And so, Jay, let's do this. You're my best friend.
Yeah, okay. Since Ryan is the guest, he will go first, of course. He'll give his honorable mentions first, and then I'll give my honorable mentions. Then he'll go number 10, I'll go through 10, 9, 9, 8, 8. You know the shtick. Start it off, Mr. Ryan O'Toole.
Alright, thank you very much, Jay. Thank you. Alright, so, I got 10 honorable mentions right here. 10 honorable mentions. I'm gonna fly by through them really fast. Alright, honorable mentions are the Rockford Peaches from A League of Their Own, The Losers Club from It, 2017, Elliot and E.T. from E.T. the Extraterrestrial, The Kids from The Sandlot, Tony Vallelonga and Don Shirley from Green Book, Mike and Sully from Monsters, Inc. and Monsters University, Marlon and Dory from Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, Tony Stark and Rhodey from the MCU, Iron Giant and Hogarth from the Iron Giant, and Hero and Baymax from Big Hero 6. Those are my 10 honorable mentions. Jay, what are yours, man?
Solid. Very good. Alright, my honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are Peter and Sydney from I Love You, Man, Scott Pilgrim and Wallace from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber, Johnny Utah and Brody from Point Break, Sean and Ed from Shaun of the Dead, Adam and Kyle from 50-50, Tony and Don Shirley from Green Book, and Andy Dufresne and Red from The Shawshank Redemption. All honorable mentions, just could make the top 10 list. What? Ryan, number 10, started off.
Alright, coming in at number 10 for me is Hiccup and Toothless from the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. This is my favorite. This is one of my favorite friendships in animated films. Hiccup and Toothless, they've known each other for a good while. Hiccup started off as that young boy, that young Viking of Berk. His father is the great Stoic the Vast. And they are Vikings. They hunt and kill dragons. And Hiccup is the first Viking on Berk to not kill a dragon. He finds this Night Fury who he shots up from the sky, and his name's Toothless because he has no teeth. And so Hiccup forms a relationship with Toothless, and we've seen them spawn this great friendship throughout this How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. I love the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. It's my favorite animated trilogy of all time. Toy Story's not a trilogy anymore, but I love these two characters. Like Hiccup and Toothless, they have such a great friendship, and Toothless is like a puppy, like a great friendship, pet and owner relationship. And How to Train Your Dragon 2 really spawned that great friendship between them because once, this is spoilers, but once Stoic dies, the father, and Hiccup blames Toothless for that, but they really gain that relationship close together, and Toothless is always there for Hiccup whenever danger is there. And of course, spoilers at the end of How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, once Toothless and all of the dragons leave Berk and they live on the Hidden World. That scene's so sad. Like, I just rewatched this movie. It's so sad because that friendship is there and I care about these characters. So, I absolutely love Hiccup and Toothless together. That is my number 10.
Interesting. I didn't have them on my list. I know. Yeah, I didn't have them.
I knew this this was gonna happen.
Yeah, I knew it happened. I knew I'd forget something. Yeah, very beautiful. It's a good friendship. Number 10 for me is a comedic duo. Come on, party on, Wayne. Party on, Garth. It's Wayne and Garth from Wayne's World. Yes, Wayne's World. Party on. Excellent. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. I love Mike Myers, not Michael Myers. Origin story of the serial killer. No, Mike Myers and Dana Carvey are so great in both these films. Everyone wanted a Wayne's World 3, but I don't. I think the first two are just great standalone films. Their friendship is a lot like my friendships with like a lot of my friends from work and stuff. They're just like guys who love rock music, who love quoting sports, music, movies and stuff, and they're just think these two doofuses that have been childhood friends, and just it feels like a real, genuine friendship. They run their television show together in their basement. They just talk about nonsense. They do top 10 lists, kind of like what me and Ryan are doing. That's what they do. They do top 10 lists. That's how great they are. And yeah, I love Wayne and Garth. They're just like these great hippie rockers that I just love to watch. They're hilarious. They have great camaraderie with each other. They always have each other's back. They never fight with each other. They're always in agreement with each other. There's not one who's dominant over the other. They just have a genuinely great friendship. And of course, they would make my number 10. So yeah, number 10, Wayne and Garth. Party on, Wayne.
So are you Garth or am I Wayne? I'm not sure.
I'm Wayne. I'm Wayne.
Okay. All right.
I'm Canadian. Mike Myers is Canadian.
Yeah, man. So that's a good pick. I didn't have that on my list. So we're having different lists so far, Jay. That's great. I picked a lot of franchise friendships because I love franchises, and this is another predictable pick for a top 10 friendship list. But coming in at number 9 is going to be Harry, Ron, and Hermione from the Harry Potter franchise. Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, and Hermione Granger. I mean, the Harry Potter franchise is one of my favorite franchises of all time. Like, this is a fantastic 8-movie franchise. You have Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson. And, like, the reason why those films work is because of these actors. They are perfectly cast in their roles. Harry, Ron, and Hermione, they all have a great friendship together. Like, Harry and Ron, they first meet each other on the Hogwarts Express. They're communicating over Bernie Bott's every flavored beans and so many candies, and then Hermione comes on the train. They're all just like Harry Potter. It's the boy who lived and all that. And this is where the friendship started. And we all know Ron and Hermione, they had a love-hate relationship, a crush relationship and all that. And then they just grown up together throughout all of these films. These actors, this was their first roles. And J.K. Rowling is the reason why these actors are so famous now. Well, Rupert Grint's not in any movies anymore, which is sad, but still, I love these characters. I love their relationships back and forth, and they always have each other's back, just like you, Jay. They have great chemistry, like in Sorcerer's Stone, like they all solve their own riddles and all that. And when Ron was jealous at Hermione because she took that, I forgot his name, but into the prom and Goblet of Fire, but then it just all culminated into Deathly Hallows Part 2 when they were all grown up and they all had their own kids. Ron and Hermione got married and had children, and Harry and Ginny got married and had kids as well. I love this friendship. And Jay, if you do not have this friendship on your list, you're not my friend anymore. But I'm just kidding, man. That's my number 9, dude.
Oh, yeah. I have that on my list. It's lower on my list. Yeah.
All right.
That was one of the ones I was predicting. Like, I know you have that on there. You have to have that on there. It's lower though. It's lower on the list. Trust me. And Victor Crumb is the name you're thinking of. Victor Crumb.
Victor Crumb. Thank you.
Okay. My number 9 is actually a friendship for a movie just this year. This is actually the film that inspired me to do this list, and that is Amy and Molly from Booksmart. Actually, I know it's weird to put I love this friendship, honestly. Their friendship was so good, that's what made me love the movie so much. If this friendship didn't work, the movie doesn't work. Their chemistry with each other, their camaraderie with each other, their back and forth with each other is so fucking good. It makes the movie much more funnier, much more heartwarming, and just much more fun and stuff. And when they genuinely fight with each other, you understand why they're fighting with each other. And a lot of people call... Yeah?
That's one of my favorite acted scenes this year. That is like some of the best acting I've seen this year.
It's really good. It actually is genuinely good. A lot of people are calling this like the female Superbad. In a way, it's very different than Superbad. And I like Seth and Evan's friendship in Superbad. I think it's a good friendship. But I think this friendship is a lot more stronger because they have no one else. They are friends with nobody but these two. At least Seth and Evan have the girls. They have McLovin, so they still have other friends. But these two only have each other. Their friendship is that strong. It's just them two. They're not friends with anybody. They're like the social outcasts in their school and stuff. And basically they just want to have a one good night out. And they try to go to this party, but they keep going to the wrong parties and stuff. And it just ends up all crazy shit and everything. And they still have their friendship. And at the end of the movie, spoilers, she has to go away for a year. And that's still not going to ever jeopardize their friendship. Their love for each other, friendship love, I mean, is so pure and so strong that I adored this movie. I thought this movie was so funny, super well written, a very great directorial debut by Olivia Wilde. Never thought she would be a good filmmaker, but she proved me wrong. And I think this movie works because this friendship is so strong, and these two actresses are so great, and they have such compelling chemistry with each other. And yeah, number 9 for me, easily, so good. Booksmart.
Announcement to you guys. If you're not doing anything, watch Booksmart, because this movie's failing miserably at the box office. No, what the hell? It's one of the best films this year. Anyway. Alright, fantastic choice, man. I absolutely love Booksmart, and I can't blame you at all for putting that friendship on there. It's so good. Such a good friendship. Alright. Coming in at number 8 for me is another animated friendship that I just love these two together. It's from one of my favorite Pixar films, The Incredibles. That is Bob Parr, Mr. Incredible, and Frozone, Samuel L. Jackson. I love this friendship. I love Incredibles 1 and 2. And Bob Parr and Mr. Incredible and Frozone, they've always been best pals. They all have each other's back in this instance. And I just love Frozone. He's my favorite in the Incredibles franchise. Even when Bob Parr is really down and not himself, like, Frozone's always there for Bob Parr. He's like the second father to the family of Dash, Jack, and Violet. And he's always there as well for Elastigirl. So I just love these two back and forth, especially in the first Incredibles when they're so down and out because the government is against superheroes. They have to live full-time jobs, and it just makes Bob Parr miserable. He doesn't want to work in an office. He wants to fight crime. And so when they're talking in the car, they're listening for crimes and all that, and they just work so well together, and it leads to the final incredible battle with Syndrome and his big superbot, and Frozone gets a lot involved in the action. I don't think Frozone was in the first Incredibles like he is in the second one, which is why I love Incredibles 2 so much. And it dives into the friendship more in Incredibles 2, of course, with Jack, of course, going insane. And then Frozone's like, what the? I love Mr. Incredible and Frozone. It's one of my favorite friendships of all time. It's so good. I love these two. And Craig T. Nelson and Samuel L. Jackson, such great chemistry.
Can't fault you for that one. I don't have that on my list either. But, again, different lists. This is great. Number 8 is another comedic friendship. It is from my all-time, if everyone knows my channel, you'll know what my favorite comedy of all time is. It's Hot Fuzz, and that's Sergeant Nicholas Angel and Danny. This is Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. Yeah, it's Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. They're like the greatest comedic duos ever. They're so funny. Anytime you put these two in a movie, you got me sold. Like, I'm going to see this movie. I don't care if they're like 5 minutes in the film. I'm going to see this movie. And this is my favorite comedy film of all time. I think Hot Fuzz is so funny. I think it is a comedy that you have to watch like multiple times to get every single joke. But we're talking about the friendship here. The friendship is the important part. Nicholas Angel in this movie is like this workaholic. He's like one of the best cops, but he has no friendships. No one wants to be his friend, no one wants to work with him because he basically outstages and outplays everybody. He's just so good at his job, no one wants to have anything to do with him. Even his own girlfriend, who's played by Cate Blanchett, which not a lot of people get, she breaks up with him because he's just so invested with the job. He just wants to be the best cop. But then when he finally moves to this like small little town, this little village and stuff, he's the new sergeant. He meets Danny, who is the complete opposite of him. He's a guy who doesn't give a... He likes his job, but he doesn't put any effort into it. He's very lazy. He gets drunk a lot, and he eats a lot, and just doesn't take the job seriously. And sometimes it is true that when they say opposites attract, and that's why their friendship is just so funny, is that one is really bad at his job and one is really good at his job, but one complements the other because Danny teaches Nicholas Angel to be a little more laid back and not take the job as serious as he does and focus on his personal life, not just the job. And he teaches Danny to be a better cop, teaches him to be a better shooter with guns and just how to investigate people, how to write tickets properly, just to be a better police officer. And again, and them two team up at the very ending and they take down the whole town, the greater good. And yeah, I love anything Simon Pegg and Ed Frost do. I think they always have amazing chemistry, and I think this movie showcases the chemistry the best out of all the Cornetto trilogy, and just, I love Danny and Nicholas Angel, I love this friendship, love this movie. It's Hot Fuzz, everyone knew it was going to be on this list, it's my favorite comedy of all time, so yeah, Hot Fuzz, number 8.
Fantastic choice, man. That's a really good choice. I've not seen the Cornetto trilogy yet. I need to. But, yeah, that's a good pick. All right, coming in at number 7. I think Jay might have this on his list, but higher. But my number 7 is Doc Brown and Marty McFly from the Back to the Future trilogy. 1.21 gigawatts.
My number 7.
That's your number 7. Oh, wow. Now, so we can combine our thoughts overall. 1.21 gigawatts.
You go first, obviously. So yeah.
I love this friendship. Like, come on. This is a best friendship list. Like, you have to put these two together. Doc Brown and Marty McFly. Like, I need to rewatch these movies. I feel like rewatch them now, actually. I love this trilogy. It's a childhood classic of mine. I mean, Marty McFly is just such a great character once he meets Doc Brown, who's like this great scientist played by Christopher Lloyd. And yeah, I just love these two together, and the journey they go on throughout this entire trilogy is just great. We see in the first Back to the Future, it's just so classic, and then Back to the Future 2, they go to 1985, I think, and then Back to the Future 3, they go back to the Wild Wild West, and so it's just great. I love these two's chemistry, and it's just great, and I need to rewatch these movies again because I remember there's so many great lines in this trilogy. But yeah, Jay, it's great that we have this at number 7, man.
Yeah. I didn't know if you were going to have this on this list. I didn't predict this. So, yeah, number 7 for me is also Doc Brown and Marty McFly from Back to the Future trilogy. I think this is one of the greatest movie friendships ever. Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox are both amazing. And the funniest fact is Michael J. Fox wasn't even originally casted to play Marty McFly, which would have been a very different movie, and I'm glad they got Michael J. Fox, because that works. Their chemistry is so perfect. And some people will be thinking it's weird, like, oh, why is a 17-year-old kid friends with a 60-year-old man? Does that sound a little creepy? Yes, if you put it like that, but honestly, the way they do it, because the writing's so good and these characters are so enjoyable, it works beautifully. This friendship is so great, it inspired the cartoon Rick and Morty. That's how inspirational this friendship is. And I love it. I just love that Marty has to go back in time in the first Back to the Future. Basically has to get his parents to go fall in love again so he can go back into the future, which is the present. Then the second one goes more into the future, then goes back to the past, which is changed, then goes back to the present. And then in the third one, he has to go to the Western, and then go back to the present. A lot of time travel in this movie. Some of it is very confusing. Some people say it's a little flawed with some of its time travel aspects, which it kind of is true, but honestly, I still don't give a shit. Back to the Future is just amazing. First Back to the Future will always be a timeless classic in my eyes. I think it is a genius film. Some people want it to be remade. I don't want it to be remade because I think it's a product of its time of 1985. I don't think that movie could have been made either way unless it was an 80s film. I think the soundtrack's great. I think the performances are great. I don't think you can touch Back to the Future. You can't touch that.
I touched it.
Yeah. you can't touch those performances too. Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox make that friendship of Doc Brown and Marty McFly. So easily one of the greatest movie friendships of all time. It's my number 7 as well.
Coming in at number 6 for me, hopefully Jay has this on his list because this is a franchise that he introduced me to. My number 6 is Frodo and Sam from the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Frodo and Sam. I think this is a damn good friendship. I just recently got into Lord of the Rings thanks to Jay. So I could have put the whole entire fellowship on here, but honestly, you got Gimli and Legolas who are at odds with each other, the dwarfs and the elves and all that. Could have put Aragorn as well with Frodo, but it's really all Frodo and Sam. It's what makes this friendship work. Elijah Wood and Sean Astin are so great casted in both of those roles, and I like Sam way more than Frodo. I don't love Frodo as a character. I know I get it. He has the ring and all that, and he doesn't fight for himself throughout this whole entire trilogy, but it's really Sam that's the hero of this whole entire trilogy. It's Sam. Sam's always has Frodo's back. He always goes with Frodo everywhere. These two go through each other onto Mordor, go into Mount Doom to put the ring of Sauron and all that. It's really these two right here is why this trilogy works for me. And Two Towers as well, they meet Gollum, who's my favorite character in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Gollum's so good in that role, and Sam is the smart one of the two and realizes Gollum is not to be trusted. Gollum's crazy, and he's right. And then Frodo befriends Sam and all that. I was just bugged by that. And then we get to Return of the King, which is my favorite Lord of the Rings film. And Sam deserves an Oscar nomination for this film because he's the one who's carrying Frodo all the way up to Mount Doom. And he's like, I'm never giving up on you, Mr. Frodo. I will carry you if I have to. And then you got Howard Shore's score playing beautifully. Like, it brought me to tears. Like, this friendship's so good. And then, of course, it gets to the end and when Frodo leaves Middle-earth. And then he hugs Sam goodbye. Also, I can't forget that scene when he's in the hospital bed and the whole fellowship reunites and Sam's the best for last. And Frodo's just gives that head shake. Like, Sam's the true hero, I think. Like, if it wasn't for Sam, Frodo would have died. If it wasn't for Aragorn, Frodo would have died. And yeah, Frodo, not the best character, but he's fine. But I love Sam more.
All right, number 6. This is, Ryan said already, it's Ron, Hermione, and Harry, Ron, and Hermione, Harry Potter franchise. I said that order wrong. Ron's not the main character. This friendship, this triple friendship, is such a beautiful friendship. And again, I read the books of Harry Potter, and I knew, like, they had to tackle this friendship properly. Like, again, just like Booksmart, like, the friendship of these three main characters is, like, what holds the film together, a lot of the films together, because they're the central focus of the story. And the casting was great. Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, great performances, and they work off each other so beautifully well, and they all have great chemistry. And yeah, I love this friendship, and they all add something to the group. Like, Harry's the more, like, powerful one. Hermione is the smart one. And Ron, I guess, is the funny one. No offense to Ron, he doesn't do a lot to help the group. Mostly in the first one when he does the wizard's chest. That's kind of a lot what he does. But basically, Hermione and Harry do a lot of the work. But at least Ron destroys some of the Horcruxes and the Deathly Hallows, so he's got that going for him. And he does marry Hermione at the ending, so he does have that going for him. I still like Ron. He just doesn't do a lot of work. But Harry is the one that does a lot of the work with Hermione and stuff. But the friendship, like, they fight for each other. Harry has no family. Like, his parents died when he was a kid. And he had nobody. He was treated like shit by his aunt and Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia. And his piece of shit cousin, Dudley. And when he finally goes to Hogwarts, he gets put in Gryffindor house. I'm Ravenclaw. I'm not Gryffindor. But when he gets put in Gryffindor house and meets Ron and Hermione, this friendship blossoms through all 8 of these films. And they become his family. His friends become the family he always wanted. And that's what makes it just such a beautiful friendship. And of course, yeah, I'm a Harry Potter geek, so of course I have it on my list. So yeah, number 6. I think that's a cool friendship. I like their friendship too when they're actually friends. I do like that, and I do like McAvoy and Fassbender's performance as the young versions of them. Yeah, it's not on my list, but that's a cool idea. It's different. I like that. Number 5, I know 100% Ryan doesn't have this on his list. 100% I know. It's Thelma and Louise from Thelma and Louise. I didn't know Ryan's seen it. Have you seen this movie, Ryan?
No.
It's great. It's directed by, believe it or not, it's directed by Ridley Scott. It's got what's her name? Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis, both nominated for Oscars for Best Actress, and both are great. Spoilers: they both die at the end. They both. Aww. But yeah. It's basically about these, like, they're basically the typical redneck, white trash girls and stuff. They basically just want to have a weekend to themselves and everything. Like, Thelma has, like, a piece of shit husband who doesn't treat her right. And Louise basically just doesn't trust anyone in general and stuff. She has a very tragic past, which I won't go into and stuff. But when they go to this club, Thelma almost gets raped, and Louise shoots the guy and kills him. And basically, the two of them are on the road and on the run to get out of the country because all the police force are after them because first-degree murder. And plus, they're in Texas in the early 90s / late 80s. They basically get the death penalty if they get arrested, even though it was still technically self-defense, but they don't have any witnesses, so they knew they'd get arrested, so they basically, it's a road trip movie, but it's also like a chase them up movie and stuff because these cops are after them. And it just shows you that these two girls have each other's back no matter what. Like, when Louise shoots the guy, Thelma still has her back. She could have easily turned her in, but she doesn't. She goes on the run with her. Like, they always have each other's back. Even when Thelma has to rob the convenience store to get money, she goes with it. They roll with it with each other. Like, when they do all this illegal, crazy shit, they just go with it. Because that's what they do. They're friends. They just have to keep each other safe. They have to keep living. They have to keep going. And sadly, they both die at the end of the movie, which is absolutely heartbreaking, but they both decided together as a friend. They both put their hand on the wheel, and they both go right off that cliff in that car, and it's just what a powerful ending. But the whole movie is this friendship of Thelma and Louise, and it's a beautiful friendship. It's got a very dark ending, but it's a great friendship, and it's got two lovely performances by two great classic actresses, and yeah, number 5 for me.
Alright, yeah, let's get to it. Alright, coming in at number 4 for me is Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes in the MCU. Chris Evans and Sebastian Stan. I freaking love this friendship. I know Jay does as well. Like, this is my favorite superhero friendship, like, of all time. Like, I think it's the casting that works so well. Chris Evans and Sebastian Stan, taken all the way back to Captain America: The First Avenger. Steve Rogers is a small, skinny kid in Brooklyn. He's trying to recruit for the army, and he gets turned down because of all of his health problems. And he fights this big bully, and then, boom, we see Bucky Barnes come out, and he fights the guy off, and then you could tell already they're best buddies. Like, they're both different sizes and all that, and so it just culminates into this great friendship, and then it spawns one of my favorite lines ever in the MCU. Don't win the war till I get... No, sorry. Don't do anything stupid till I get back. How can I when I'm taking all the stupid with you? And they use that line again in Endgame, which is so great. And I think that... And then it spawns to Winter Soldier. Oh yeah, in First Avenger, spoiler alert, Bucky Barnes dies, falls over the train, and then Steve's so sad he lost his friend. And then going all the way to 2014 with Captain America: The Winter Soldier, where Steve thinks Bucky's dead when he's facing off against the Winter Soldier, and then he's fighting him, and then the mask turns off, and it's Bucky Barnes, his friend. He's the Winter Soldier. He's the guy who's killing everybody. His reaction is just, Bucky? And then it just culminates into some of the best moments in superhero films. Captain America doesn't want to fight. This is the first time Captain America backs away from a fight. Bucky Barnes is beating him up. Cap is just like, your name is James Buchanan Barnes. Shut up! You are my mission! Then finish it. And then it just leads off to the great line, because I'm with you to the end of the line, pal. Oh my God, it's so heartbreaking. In Civil War, Steve Rogers is backing up Bucky Barnes. He's trying to protect him from all these agents who are after Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. And then poor Bucky, he's the main guy who's trying to get killed. Black Panther's trying to kill him. Tony Stark tries to kill him after he kills his parents under the Winter Soldier control. He's trying to battle that. And then the final act of Civil War, Captain America and Bucky facing Iron Man. He is fighting with Bucky. He's protecting him, and Iron Man's beating him up. Cap is always there to fight for Bucky. Bucky is fighting for Cap as well. And then it just culminates to the ending where Bucky freezes in Carbonite in Wakanda, and they don't see each other for a while. And the most sad thing is, Jay, in Infinity War, Bucky's the first one to turn to dust. And Captain America sees his friend turn right in front of his eyes. And it's so great. And then, in Endgame, spoiler alert, when Captain America goes back in time, puts all the stones back, and then he's 95-year-old old man Cap. And you could definitely see why Bucky didn't get the shield and Sam, because Bucky's had the Winter Soldier and all that. So it makes sense for Sam. I think this is one of the best friendships. This is such a great friendship, in my opinion. I love Cap and Bucky. Chris Evans, Sebastian Stan. So good.
Can I put that as an honorable mention?
Wow!
I don't got it.
What is on your list?
I don't got it.
That surprises me.
I know.
Wow.
Shoot me now. Hang me. Get the rope.
MCU fans are commenting right now. What the?
Go fuck yourself, Jay. Alright. Number 4 for me is the only animated friendship I have, and that's Woody and Buzz from the Toy Story trilogy. Yes, you are a toy! You're not the real Buzz Lightyear. You're a child's plaything. I love it. I love it. Woody and Buzz, they do not start off as friends. Oh, they don't. Buzz borderline hates him. I wouldn't say that much. Woody's the one that really hates him, though, because he's basically taking the affections of Andy, because Woody is the number 1 toy, but then when Buzz Lightyear happens, it's kind of like a real thing that actually happened in society when Westerns was a big thing, but then when sci-fi came out, it overpowered the Westerns, and even still to this day, sci-fi overpowers Westerns. Kind of cool commentary right there.
Didn't Secret Life of Pets do that as well?
Yeah, that great movie. Those great Illumination movies. Fuck those movies. They basically have a rivalry. And one of my favorite things about comedy is rivalries. I love a good rivalry. And the two of them, how they battle out. Buzz doesn't even want Andy's affection. All Buzz wants to do is go back home because he thinks he's the real Buzz Lightyear, but he's actually a toy. And Woody just wants to go back home, but they're stuck at the neighbor's Sid's house and stuff, and they basically have to work together to get back home. They have to put aside their differences, and they work together, and when they work together, they actually become friends and respect each other. And then this friendship just blossoms through the sequels in Toy Story 2, and Woody gets captured, and then Buzz has to take all the crew and to rescue Woody, because basically Woody saved him, because Buzz thought he was the real Buzz Lightyear, and it took Woody to help him figure that out. Now he has to go save Woody from this crazy guy who wants to sell him to, I don't know, China or something. And then in Toy Story 3, again, it just shows you that Woody and Buzz will always be friends and always stay friends. And this, even like Woody had a chance to go be with Andy for the rest of his life. He could go to college with Andy, but no. He decided to go to Bonnie with Buzz and the whole crew and stuff, because that's where Woody belongs. He belongs with Buzz Lightyear and his entire friends, and basically the heart and soul of Toy Story, I think, is Buzz and Woody and their friendship. Tom Hanks, Tim Allen are both amazing in these films. I'm not excited for Toy Story 4, but I love the first 3, and yeah, I can't wait for Toy Story 4 to suck, so Cody O'Toole can have a sign on his face saying Pixar sucks. I remember the bet I made with him when we did the live stream. I hope he didn't forget, but I'll be doing the same in my Toy Story 4 review if it is done at 60% or higher on Rotten Tomatoes. So, Toy Story.
That transitions perfectly to my number 3 is Woody and Buzz from the Toy Story franchise. Toy Story trilogy, per se. Everything you said, man, like Woody just doesn't like Buzz from the start, and so Woody has to learn to like Buzz throughout the films and all that. It's all the nice toy comes in and the old toy doesn't get the affection. And then it's just great. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, perfectly well cast. And then Toy Story 2, Buzz is the one who orchestrates the party to go find Woody after he's captured by Al for Al's Toy Barn and all that. And then Buzz does everything to find Woody. And then it just spawns into Toy Story 3 when they're at the day camp, Sunnyside Day Camp, and Lotso Huggenbear is running everything. And then Woody has to try to save Buzz as well from Lotso's reign. They're all trying to escape, try to get back home to Andy. And then it's just great. This is such a great friendship. Jay's already said it. It's fantastic.
And do I have to write anything?
No, you don't have to do it, Ryan. Cody's the one that has the faith in the Toy Story movies, so let's see where his faith is.
If you're watching.
Oh, yeah. Number 3 for me. I don't even know if Ryan has this. It's a classic action movie. It's Riggs and Murtaugh from the Lethal Weapon franchise.
I know.
Yeah. You know? Alright. Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, Riggs! Yes, get over this shit, Riggs. I love this friendship. Basically, Martin Riggs is a very crazy, they all think he's absolutely an unstable police officer because his wife died, and basically he's pretty much borderline suicidal. He doesn't care about getting shot. He doesn't care about going in open fires and shit. Like, he doesn't care. He always has a bullet he has to keep, and that's the bullet he wants to shoot himself with eventually. But then he gets teamed up with Roger Murtaugh, Danny Glover. They basically have to investigate this murder investigation with each other. And basically, this friendship is actually what saved Riggs' life. Because Riggs, again, he doesn't want to live anymore. He wants to do good because he is a police officer, but he's just borderline, he's over the deep end, and he just wants to die. And the friendship he has with Murtaugh is what actually saves him. Makes him a better police officer, and actually saves his life. And that's why at the end of the first Lethal Weapon, he gives him the bullet at the end of the movie. He doesn't want to die anymore. And again, the sequels, not as good as the first movie. They're still good movies. It just shows more of the craziness of their adventure. They both deal with a lot of tragedies. Like, in the second one, no, I think it's the third one, Murtaugh accidentally shoots his son's best friend, and then he has to deal with that tragedy. Riggs has to get remarried, and he doesn't know if he can accept that because his wife did pass away. They both deal with a lot of stuff, but they always they have each other. They have their partnership. They have their friendship. I think out of any police officers in film, I think these are the greatest partnership police officers. Yeah, I like John McClane and Pal from Die Hard. They're great too, and yeah, everyone will say, like, Mike Larry and, what's his name? Fucking Marcus from Bad Boys. But I'm not a big Bad Boys fan. I think when it comes to partnership cops, I think either Nicholas Angel and Danny, or I think Riggs and Murtaugh. And that's my number 3. Riggs and Murtaugh.
Will be your number 1. Alright. Coming in at my number 2 is Han Solo and Chewbacca from the Star Wars franchise. Harrison Ford and Peter Mayhew, rest in peace, Peter Mayhew, so sad. Han and Chewie. Mike, this is the classic friendship. I had to have this on the list. And it's my number 2 for a reason. I love Star Wars, right, Cody? We get introduced to Han and Chewie in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. They're at the cantina, and we got Obi-Wan and Luke trying to find a ship, and so they find Han and Chewie there at the cantina. They're trying to ride the Millennium Falcon with them and all that, and it spawns, we see Han and Chewie, this great smuggler-Wookiee friendship. And Harrison Ford and Peter Mayhew had such great chemistry in the original trilogy. Han always has Chewie's back, Chewie always has Han's back. It really dives into that friendship in Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back's my favorite film of all time. You guys know this. And it's a flawless film. And Han and Chewie really dive into their friendship really well. When Han is hanged up from the Empire, once they see Darth Vader for the first time, Han takes his blaster, shoots it at Vader, and then he grabs his gun. And Chewie yells at him because, "Don't you do anything to my Han." And of course, when Lando gets involved, Chewie yanks at Lando, is like, "You did this to my friend." And of course, the iconic scene in Empire Strikes Back when Han frozen in carbonite, Chewie's crying and all that. He has to defend Leia, and it's so sad. Like, that scene breaks my heart every time because Darth Vader's an evil, reckless guy who will do anything possible. And then we go to Return of the Jedi, fantastic. But Force Awakens was what really drew this friendship really well. With Force Awakens, when Han Solo does die, Chewbacca roars like, "Roar!" Shoots at Kylo Ren and all that. His friend just died because Kylo Ren stabs his father right in the heart. It's so sad, but it's just such a great friendship because these two are there for each other. They make each other laugh. Like, Chewie makes fun of Han all the time, and he's just like, laugh it up, fuzzball. Have fun with Luke and all that, and with Leia. This is classic friendship. And Jay, of course, is going to have it on his list.
This is what I hate. My number one and my number two, right? Said them both already. You ruined it. Ruined it. Yeah. Alright, yeah, Han and Chewie are on my list. Where is it? Is it 1? Is it 2? It's not 2. Number 2 is Frodo and Sam for Lord of the Rings. I think, I hate that Ryan said it first, but fuck you, Ryan. I love Frodo and Sam. I think their friendship is absolutely fantastic. I think without each other, they both would die. Well, maybe not Sam. Sam just would have stayed in the Shire. He would have been fine, but without Sam, Frodo's dead in the first movie. The very first movie, when they're under the tree little thing, and the ring wraith is just looking over, he's about to put on the ring, and Sam's like, no, don't do that. Instantly saves his life just like that. Even he protects them when they're up in the little thing at nighttime, and Aragorn has to save him, but Sam's the only one that actually tries to fight them. Like, Sam just always has Frodo's back. No matter what, Sam's always got his back. Even when Gollum comes, and this is why I like Gollum. Gollum's an excellent manipulator of Frodo, because he knows Frodo is very vulnerable, and the ring is twisting his mind, and Smeagol/Gollum uses that to his advantage, and turns Frodo against Sam. That's just what a sadistic fuck he is, Gollum is. That's what makes him a great villain. But Sam, yeah, every scene where he's like punching Gollum is like the funniest shit ever. Slapping around, punching him, dragging him up the rope and stuff. Just hilarious shit. When he slices him with... Smeagol wouldn't hurt a fly. Ah! So great. And yeah, he always has, even when Frodo tells him to leave and go home, Sam still saves him. He saves him from Shelob when Shelob's got him wrapped up in the little thing. Even when he's taken up to the castle where the orcs are, he's like stabbing all the fucking orcs. He's just like, yeah, this is for the Shire, this is for Frodo. Ah! And Sam he's always got his back, man. And like when he's carrying Frodo up the freaking Mount Doom and stuff, and like you can just see the heartache. He's like, just throw the fucking ring in the fire. And even when they're about to die together, Frodo hugs them. He says, I'm glad I'm dying with you, Sam. I wouldn't die with anyone else. But luckily the Eagles come and help them and shit. And it just makes it all the more sad at the end when Frodo leaves, because Sam did all that hard work, and now Frodo's leaving him forever. It's like the most hard... I bawled my eyes out when I saw that. I'm like, oh, you're saying goodbye to Sam? Sam did all this work. And then, like, Frodo gives Sam the book. He's like, there's room for a little more. It's just, because Frodo can never have a happy ending. He's scarred for... Lord of the Rings, people don't know what the PTSD Frodo went through with Lord of the Rings, and he can't have a happy ending. That's why he leaves at the ending. Sam gets a happy ending. He gets a wife. He gets kids and stuff. So it's a very bittersweet ending with Frodo and Sam, but I adore their friendship. I love their friendship, and I think it's one of the greatest friendships in any film. So yeah, Frodo and Sam.
Times come for desperate measures. Oh man. I've been thinking back and forth. Wow. An honorable mention for my number one. Jay had this in his honorable mentions. I was shocked this wasn't your number one. I actually understand why that was your number one, Han and Chewie. But to me, this is the iconic friendship that just made me cry at the end of the movie, because it's just a perfect friendship that blossoms into a scary film at first, but it just ends beautifully on a beautiful friendship. My number one is Andy Dufresne and Red Redden from Shawshank Redemption, played by Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman. Shawshank Redemption is one of my favorite films of all time. I think this is a perfect movie. I cry every single time at the ending of this movie. I think it is a perfectly written, well-directed, well-acted film from start to finish. And it's because of the friendship of Andy Dufresne and Red Redden. If you guys haven't seen Shawshank Redemption, what the fuck are you doing? Seriously, stop this video and watch the Shawshank Redemption. So, the whole film is about Andy Dufresne being falsely accused of a murder he didn't commit, of killing his wife, and all that. And then he gets sent to Shawshank Penitentiary, which is this prison full of innocents. And so, the whole prison is being run by the warden. Such a evil, sadistic fuck. I can't stand that guy, but he's such a great villain. But then we meet Red Redden, played by Morgan Freeman, who should have won the Oscar for this movie, which is a crime. But still, this friendship blossoms where we see Red and Andy Dufresne out in the outside area just talking. I need to ask you a favor and all that. And then he does favors. That's what Red does. And so we get to see the progression of his character as well, doing all the different scenes of him trying to get parole. But really, it's the friendship that I love the most about the Shawshank Redemption, man. When Red and Andy are just talking back and forth about different things, you get to see them having a good time and just always being there for each other as well. Like Red and Andy, the iconic scene, of course, of them sitting outside. You get busy living or you get busy dying. And then that leads up to the iconic scene of Andy escaping Shawshank and through the poop chute and all that, and then him just doing that, and Red has no idea where Andy went. They're like, the guards are trying to find where Andy went, the warden's trying to find where Andy went, and it just leads into the great once finally Red gets parole all done and he's out of Shawshank. He goes to find Andy because in the prison, Andy gives him, if you ever leave prison, here's this route, man. Go under the oak tree and all that. You'll find this little note, and it'll show you where to go from there. And then, so he goes there, goes under the oak tree, and he finds the note from Andy. Go to Mexico Beach, this beach and all that. And then he sees Andy fixing and wiping the boat. And then it just leads into the iconic end. And they finally see each other and they hug. The beautiful score and the credits roll. That makes me so sad. Like, that is such a good friendship and a perfect ending. I love this friendship so much. It is the perfect friendship in cinema, in my opinion. Andy Dufresne, Red Redden from the Shawshank Redemption. Boom.
Say what you do. Yep, that's where they. I like their friendship a lot. That's why it's an honorable mention. I think it's a great movie, great friendship. My number one is, this guy said it. Han and Chewie. Han and Chewie, Star Wars, the whole franchise. I think it's the greatest friendship ever. It's Han and Chewie, Harrison Ford, Peter Mayhew. Instantly, when I saw Star Wars as a kid in 1977 Star Wars, they were my favorite characters with Darth Vader. Darth Vader, Han and Chewie. I loved Han and Chewie. Just the Chewie. I always was so confused. Like, how does he understand Chewie? He just makes noises, but I didn't care. It was awesome. Chewie's got like this crossbow. He had this fucking smuggler, badass guy, Han Solo, and basically that's all they do. They take odd jobs here and there, and they just smuggle things. Smuggle products, smuggle people, and shit like that. And then he runs into Luke and Obi-Wan, and they do this mission, and then he just becomes friends with Luke and joins the Rebellion fleet and falls in love with Princess Leia and stuff. And Chewie just, I don't know, he always has Han's back, and Han always has Chewie's back. Anytime people like make fun of Chewie, like, get this carpet out of here. Like, yeah, only Han gets to insult Chewie. That's how deep their friendship is. Laugh it up, Fuzzball. I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain. So great. One of my favorite scenes, actually, is in Return of the Jedi. Is, when Han first gets, like, out of the carbonite and they send him into prison, and he's, like, blind and stuff, and Chewie's in there. He's like, who's there? Chewie? And then Chewie just, like, he's like, and he, like, hugs him, and then Han's like, I know, pal, I know, I miss you too, man. It's just, like, this very it's this adorable, it's the most cutest thing. And he's just, like, hugging him, and then Han's like, I know, pal. I know, it's okay. It's just okay, because she was like, I missed you. And like, I love his introduction to Force Awakens. Chewie, we're home. Just like, they're finally home. They found them in the Millennium Falcon and stuff. And he even says to Finn, he's like, "You heard Chewie? I'll fucking kill you." And just like, yeah, they're always together, no matter what. Even when Han's separated from his family, he's always got Chewie. No matter what, Chewie's always got his back. That's his ride or die friendship. Like, that's his ride or die. And even when Han dies, what does Chewie do? Screams and shoots the little prick. He's like, "You motherfucker!" That's what I hate about The Force Awakens at the ending, when Leia hugs Rey instead of Chewie. I'm like, no. Don't hug Rey, hug Chewie. Chewie lost more than Rey did. Rey only knew Han Solo for like a week. Chewie knew him his whole life almost, so yeah. I know it's a nitpick, but I'm just like, no! Chewie lost more. Chewie's known Han longer than you, Princess Leia, so I'm just like, how dare she hug Rey, not Chewie? Chewie's just like walking, I'm like, oh, feels so bad for Chewie, man. He's the one that lost his only family, Han. So...
Solo, I didn't like Solo, but that was a great introduction of how they met.
Yeah, at least in Solo, they still have the chemistry. It's the Chewie and Han.
That was Chewie's movie.
Yeah. And the funniest thing is, you can't picture Han without Chewie behind him. Like, anytime you picture Han Solo, Chewie's always beside him. You can't have Han without the Chewbacca. So that's why, best friendship ever.
Rest in peace, Peter Mayhew.
Rest in peace. Alright. So yeah, that was our top 10 movie friendships. I would have done this top 10 list with anyone else but this guy right here, my Chewbacca. So yeah, Ryan O'Toole, thank you for joining me, and tell all my subscribers they know where the fuck they can find you, but tell them anyways.
Alright, thank you, Jay, as always. You're my best pal, you're my buddy. Thank you for having me, man. You guys can find me on YouTube at Ryan O'Toole. I do a bunch of movie reviews and all that. Some early, sometimes I can get into those early movie reviews, but I do movie reviews. I do Blu-ray videos and all that. I have this awesome new series that I introduced, Once Upon a Time with Tarantino series that just started. Look forward to my Pulp Fiction review up next. And yeah, I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can follow me on all those. You can go to my channel and you can see all the links to my social media there. Thank you, Jay. Yeah!
Yeah! And go see Secret Life of Pets 2. It's the best movie of the entire year. It's better than Endgame.
Don't waste your time. It's way better than Endgame.
It's better than Endgame. It's better than Blade Runner 2049. It's better than any movie I've ever seen in my life.
Blade Runner.
It's better. It's the greatest thing ever. So yeah, go see it. Go see Secret Life of Pets 2. You'll regret it. So, in the comment section below, please tell me what are your guys' favorite movie friendships of all time. Give me your thoughts, opinions in the comment section below. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.